Everybody, welcome back to the Board Game Specialist. I am Melanie.
And I'm Carla.
And today we're on episode 148, and we are doing our top 9 games published in the year 2016. Now, at first we were going to do 2016 to 2000, I think, or 2020, but we're like, we can't. We're going to need to break this down year by year because there's just too many games each year now that we can't narrow it down that much. It's ridiculous. Yeah, 2016 was a good year.
Was 2011 to 2015. So yeah, we have to break it down year by year now. There's too many good games.
Well, 2016, that was 10 years ago already.
I know, that's crazy. 10-year-old games.
I know, like, and some of my lists, I was like, oh man, I remember when that came out, or like it was just recently out because I got in the hobby in 2017. And
I think I did in 2016, so I think this was the year.
This was,
but ironically, I didn't play any of these games at the time. I didn't know about these games, that I'm on all of them on my list.
Now, before we get talking about that, let's talk about your background. What's going on?
I was like, I'm like from Canada. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, so I am in my new games room. I'm in the basement. There's just a little part of it, but I will put out a video with Mel. I have one more section to kind of complete, and then you'll see my whole new games basement. And it was a lot of work.
I haven't seen it yet. Really, a couple of pictures here and there, but I haven't made it up to see.
Yeah, so my son moved out, bought a house, and literally the week he did, we painted the basement, cleaned it, brought all the shelves down, brought all the games down, which felt like thousands of games.
Well, because it is, right?
It's over 1,000, but it felt like 10,000 games I was bringing down because I did the most of it because I didn't want to put that burden on anyone else. So
it's like I did this to myself, so yeah I get that.
And then, but my husband did help. He did bring quite a few down because I was like, okay, every time you go downstairs, because it's in the top floor, so it's two levels down, right? I'm like, bring a load. So we had piles of games in the middle, and then I had to strategically organize them. So they're all here now.
Nice.
Well, most of them. There's still some I have upstairs, but they may stay there. So this is the
So what's happening in the room upstairs now?
It's just gonna be a den. So like there's still a bookshelf there and a desk.
Right.
And then I will have a recliner there. My husband claims it'll be his reading room, but he watches TV more than he reads now. So we'll see if it even gets used. It'll be an office basically. But,
that's good. That's good. That's exciting.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I had my first game day down here this past weekend, or was it 2 weeks ago already? Like time goes so fast. So it was within the last week or so, and it was great. We're down here. Everything. There's a washroom down here. It's a walkout basement, so we can let the dogs out easily. And yeah, it was nice. It's really cool to have this space now.
That's so exciting. And it's funny you saying time has just flew by. We made this list 2 episodes ago.
Like over a month ago.
And got changing it because of Car Treat, and then got changing it because of Malcon. And then even then, like, we got so busy over the summer, we had to kind of skip a week as well. Yeah. So this poor list has been waiting for its moment to shine for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And today's the day. We get to talk about it. So let me bring it up here. Now, before we talk about our top 9 games of all the games published in 2016, and just to kind of clarify, we are doing games that we that are published, not played in 2016. But we're going to talk a little bit about some games we've played recently. So, Carla, we're going to start with you. What have you been playing?
So, the game day I had on the Saturday, Kayla came Friday evening and we played a few games before the next day. She stayed over and she's like, I said, just pick something. I didn't have anything really in mind. Usually I do. I usually have my game day planned out almost, but I hadn't planned this one. So she's like, I haven't played Hadrian's Wall in a while. So pulled out Hadrian's Wall and she said, can you teach us? And I said, oh yes, because I have recently played it. Now this is quite a heavier roll and write. I wouldn't say it's a heavy game, but in the roll and write genre, it's a heavier one. You have these two big chunky sheets that look like there's a lot going on, and there kind of is a lot going on. But it's neat because there's actual resources in this game too, which for me makes it easier because my brain that bounces around a lot, if there's lots of things I can do and lots of combos, I can kind of lose track. Whereas with the resources, when you're doing some things, you have these like resources in your hand and you literally have to spend one to do an action. So then you know, like, I have this left. There's other roll and writes where there's actually notes on there where you can take notes to know, like, I have these extra stars to use or whatever, but I like having the physical components. So what you do in this game is you're going to draft a card for everybody, and whatever's on that card, you're going to all get those resources. Those are your starting resources for the round. And then you're going to pick up 2 cards from your deck. Everyone has the same deck, but you're going to shuffle them so they'll be different. And you're going to choose one of the cards to go up on your, I guess it's kind of your wall, and one just to go to the side. And that card at the top is going to be an end game scoring that you can possibly get if you complete level 1, 2, or 3 of that card. So again, you're making your own scoring in this game. And then the other card you're going to be able to use for different things that I'll talk about. Now, what you're trying to do is build up your wall, like Hadrian's Wall, to protect it from attackers, obviously. And how you do that is the top left of the sheet is basically all about the wall and production, stone production, being able to guard different areas of the wall that when you're attacked, if you have shaded in that area, you have some protection from that. Building up the bottom of your wall so that everything on top can be also filled in. Then you have on the bottom some tracks that you're going to try to move up, and those are going to give you bonus people along the way. The right side is all these different like buildings and people that you're going to try to not, well, there's some that you're going to bribe, but some you're just trying to, I guess, I don't even know what the word is.
Persuade?
Maybe persuade is the right word.
I've never played the game, so I don't know.
There is some actual bribes that you're doing, but you're going to use like different types of citizens to get, like, check off different boxes, but they will typically give you another person or a resource in return. Sometimes it'll just be a blank box that you're filling, but typically there's a lot of filling something in, like paying something, getting something back, and then doing something else. So to me, this is like a Gauchon Clever times 10, where that one, like, if you've ever played it, it's you check in boxes that will let you check in another area, that lets you check in another area, and that kind of is like this too. This has it just has more theme to it, and a little more complicated as well. But it's neat because there's different buildings you can enter and persuade, I guess, the people. And then once you've gotten to a certain point, then you can open up these other buildings that will give you other resources or ways to move up the tracks. And so you're just trying to maximize everything. And it's quite an addicting game because, you know, especially if you play solo, you're going to do it once, get a score, and then immediately you're going to say, I got to try and beat that, and then I'll do it again. There's 6 rounds in the game, so it's not overly long. I would say you could play it in a multiplayer in under an hour because you're all playing simultaneously. So you get your resources, and then you just go away. You're playing multi-solitaire, basically. There's like tiny bit of interaction with your cards, but other than that, it's basically solo. So this is typically a solo game for me, but when Kayla offered to or wanted to play it, I was gladly willing to teach her. So this one is one of my heavier roll and writes. Not the heaviest, but I do love this one. And there's like a solo campaign, a fan-made campaign to this one that's kind of neat, that you start with different resources and things and you have to accomplish certain things, but it's really a fun one. And if you feel like having a puzzly, like super puzzly roll and write, this is the first one I would go to, I would think, before some of the heavier ones. But that's the game I'm talking about, and that's Hadrian's Wall.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, that is quite a heavy looking roll and write.
Yeah.
You don't think heavy when you think roll and write.
No.
All right. So my latest play is Vindication. I had a game day over the weekend. It's felt like it had been a long time. It feels like I am not playing games hardly at all anymore. One, it's summer, so a lot of my friends are out camping or gone. Two, we got a boat, so we're gone on the water a lot. And then three, with the CGDA getting involved with the Canadian Game Design Award, it's kept me really busy. So I feel like I'm neglecting my own board game plays. I was like, okay, I really want to play. And we did a game day on the Saturday, had a couple of friends come over, from Calgary, Didsbury, and then a local friend here as well. And one of the games we ended up playing was Vindication. My friend had brought it. It says, if you guys want to play that, and then it was like, yeah, okay, I'll play that. And I had never, you know what? No, it's like the title sounds familiar, but that's as much as I knew about the game. That title sounds familiar. So we ended up playing it, and I was impressed. One thing I would say is, after having playing it, there were a couple of expansions in it. I would really love to own the base game now. I don't think, it's one of those games where you do so much of, there's so much to do. You're not going to accomplish everything you wish to do. Having all these little expansion that adds these little side quests just adds to that. So to me, I think this one, base game, I would love it. And I tend to be like that with games. I don't like extra things added to the game just for the sake of adding something else to a game. But it was super interesting. So at first, this was towards the end of the game. The middle portion is quite filled in, but that starts with pretty much nothing in it. And you move your little standee, and as you move, you show new tiles. And the tiles will do different things. Now, some of them are going to give you, what are they, I don't want to say resources. It gives you where you can put some of your cubes from your own player board onto that middle board, but it's almost like a skill you're learning or something like that, because you have the tiles, like the cubes at the bottom, and you start with potential, and it becomes, what does it say? I'm not even sure if I'm using the right term, but it's almost like your energy starts as its potential energy, then you can evolve it and develop it to become higher level, and then you can go where it's at the top once. So you kind of have to upgrade that energy a little bit like in Terra Mystica. Although it doesn't ever go back down once you kind of have it up most of the time. But you can spend it to activate different things or to put those skills onto the different sides. And each side is like a different, and I mean, I've only played it the one time, so I don't remember any of the name, but the green one, and the green one was funny because you can combine the blue and the yellow skills to create a green skill, right? And you can combine a yellow and a red to create the orange one. And those tend to be more sophisticated skills or whatever. But on visiting the tiles, you can kind of develop that skills where you're putting the cubes, then you can combine it with the other cubes to do the secondary color ones, or you can spend them to purchase companions or traits or battle monsters or get relics or different things like that. And this is really where you want to do. So you're collecting all of these things, and it kind of develops your party. Like you're getting companions. The companions do different things. We start with one to begin with. Mine was cool though, because it allowed me to place tokens on the board from my potential without having had to upgrade that skill or that energy. And then when I spend it, it comes back onto your board, and it comes back on your middle section of your board. Even though it was easier to upgrade my energy since that action kind of upgraded it for me. I'm making it sound super, super like fantasy themed, and I get to a certain point it really is, but there's a area control element to this. I can't even tell you what the base story was about, but I absolutely love my gameplay of it, and I really, really want to own a copy of this game. Just the base game, not all the expansions.
Cool.
Have you played Vindication
No, I have
before?
not played this one yet. No, I had been tempted to purchase it, but I think it's one I'd want to play before I buy.
That's what, like, one of my friend that came over, Nick, that was like, you know what? I've been wanting to buy this, but before I commit to the price tag, because I guess it's a bit of a hefty price tag. It's like, I want to play it to see, do I even like this game? And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And honestly, in my opinion, yes, 100% worth it. It was such a great game. Really, really like this one. So that's my recent play, Vindication.
Perfect.
And now we're going to get into our top 9 2016 game, and we're going to start in number 9. Now, before we get into that, Carla, I know, but do you anticipate a lot of crossovers? Not very many crossovers?
Well, I know we enjoy quite a few of these games together, but there's so many that I'm only going to say...
There's so many.
Like, I know from the list that I cut from, you also enjoy some of those. So I'm going to say 2, max 3 would be...
Okay.
I would say as a crossover, but I don't know.
All right,
we'll see.
Sounds good.
So the first one, I assume I'm first.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. The first one is Scythe. Now, this game kind of grew on me as well. The first time I played it was at a all-night like game. What do you call that when you stay up all night?
Marathon?
Yes, a marathon. And we played this at 3 a.m. We actually learned it while we played it. I don't know.
Oh my god! Like, but nobody was available to teach
games.
you. Learned it from the rule book.
None of us knew how to play it.
Oh my god! At 3 in the morning.
And this is, if you've played this game, this is not one of those games that is easy to do that with, especially at 3 a.m. But we did it. We played it, and I was like, okay, I'm not even sure about this game, but it was probably totally because of the hour and just how we learnt it. So I had played it since then a few times, and every time I play it, I seem to enjoy it more.
Nice.
And realize that it is an engine building game, which I love engine building games. But this one is kind of unique. It's like it takes place in the 1920s Europa, like alternate history kind of era. And you're playing as a faction, depending how many players. There's, 5 different factions. There might even be more with an expansion, but and you play as one, and you're trying to earn fortune and like claim your stakes in this like mysterious land around this mysterious central factory, which you don't really know much about. And now this game can be played differently. It can be played as like a 18x game kind of, but it can also be played as not that, because you can stay away from each other. Especially if you're playing a 2-player game, you can totally go through a whole game and not even interact on the board with each other. Depends what kind of player you are. I typically used to be the one that wanted to stay on my side and do whatever. I am more getting into the let's mess around with other people. I can handle being messed with Maybe I couldn't handle it in my early board gaming years, but I now can handle it. So I think I'm getting more into that. But it's a neat one because you have these player boards and you take an action on top. And then what if you have upgraded an action below it, then you get to take the bottom action as well. And it's always a different one. So there's 5 different ones, I believe, on the board, and one that you have on top will not be underneath. It'll be in a different spot under the first action. So you're really trying to upgrade those to make all your normal actions stronger. And different things are you're producing whatever kind of resources or farms, I should say, you have on the board. You'll produce. You're going to move you like around the map, try to get to the factory and get those juicy cards from the factory. You're going to possibly attack if you ever are in the same spot as somebody else. It's not even that crazy of a battle. It's a battle, but all you do is you kind of send them home and you would take their resources. It's not like you take over their spot like you would claim it, but it can still be claimed by somebody else eventually. So the different thing about this is your resources don't stay in a pile beside you. They are all placed on the board whenever you produce. So if somebody comes and you haven't spent them because you've spent them from the board as well, then and they win the fight, battle, whatever you want to call it, they will get those resources or they will claim ownership to them. Now, this is a race game. You're racing to 6 stars, I believe. Mm-hmm. He has, Jamie Sanger has done this in other games. Euphoria is one he's done this to. And right. I like that. It reminds me of the sports I used to play because it gets my heart going because it's like, okay, I really have to try to get there before anybody else. And typically this game ends where 2 or 3 people are very close and whoever wins, they basically won by 1 turn. So it does. I don't find this game very swingy at all. You're all very close to the end when it happens. And the neat thing is you need to have 6 stars and there's different categories where you'll do that. You're going to try to have one in the battle. You're going to have one where I'm going to call it friendship points, but that's only because in the kitty game, that's what it's called, my little site. In here, it's hearts, but I can't remember what the points are called in this one.
Right.
There's another one where I got to think what all the stars are. I know you win in battle. Completing all your upgrades, I think, is one. Having so many different battle cards. There's just quite a few different ones, more than 6. So you can see as it goes, everyone's like coming along and all of a sudden somebody has 3 and then everybody else has 3 and then 4. And then once it hits 4, it's like somebody could get 2 in 1 turn. So you really have to like be careful and see how it goes. It is a bit of a longer game. I wouldn't say you would play this in under 2 hours. Maybe with 2 people you could easily. I don't think I've ever played it. No, I must have played it with 2 people because that's when I realized you can kind of hang on your own side of the board. But it is a bit of a longer one. I'd say it's medium heavy, but it's very interesting. I've never really played any game like it since. There was one sort of close to it. I can't even think of the name now, but it still had quite a bit of, it had the engine building similar, but the board that you were building on was quite different.
Have you played the second one after Scythe?
Yes, I have played that one too. And now they just made one that is going to combine them both.
Oh!
Yeah, it's called the Duel of Moloch or something. And so somehow, I don't know if it's going to be just like a giant game of you go here and there and like whatnot. But yeah, so he's combining them. So, but that's my number 9, Scythe.
Nice. Yeah, that picture that I had up there, that's the first time I played it and you were there. It was with you because I cropped you out. So
I was there.
All right. That's a good pick. That's a neat game. It's one that I really should play again or want to play again. I mean, I own the game now. I have the second one. I played the second one first. I also have my little Scythe that I haven't played yet.
Oh, that's fun.
So got some playing to do. Okay, my number 9 is Awkward Guests because this game is so amazing. It is funny. Like I have a terrible picture of it. I just have a picture of the inside of the shield because all my recent pictures have been of Scandalo, which is a sequel of Awkward Guests. But Awkward Guests, first of all, just the mechanism and how this game is put together. You have 200 cards. You're going to pick a scenario. You can use the book to pick a scenario from the book, or you can download an app that's going to build the scenario. And it's going to give you a list of cards to put together. And you're going to pull up all of these cards. And those cards combined is going to create a scenario where you have the person, it's always the same person murdered, but then you have clues that'll point to one suspect somehow. And changing these cards are going to change. Like, I don't know how you create something like that can be reused and change the outcome utilizing these same cards. And I think that's really amazing. What's neat with this one is you have like your clues and you're going to take a look at it and you'll be like, oh, okay, I'm aware of this and I'm aware of this. And then you trade clues and be like, okay, I would like to know about this. And then people can go through their hands, see if they have a clue that matches. And then there's a number on the side of the card that you can see there and be like, yeah, sure, I have a clue with a value of 3. So if you want that clue, you got to go through your own clues and you got to trade clues with of a total value of 3 or more in order to swap and get those clues. Now, you could purposely be like, I'm not sharing this one clue so that hopefully nobody comes across it, and try to make it harder for other people to solve what's happening, because you need to solve who was the murderer, where they're like, which room they're in, what weapon they've used, and what the motive was. Like, there's the whole thing you got to figure out. You can increase the complexity as well. Well, some people are lying just to make things, or there's an accomplice. I haven't played with like that super hard. Well, to me, okay, it seems like it would be super hard. So I haven't played that version, but just kind of the more straightforward version. And that feels hard enough as it is. But I just really, really like it. I love whodunits. In movies, books, and games, that's the style I just automatically kind of really enjoy. And this one did it so well. After we played, because we played it the first time at Gobfest, me and you, Joseph taught us how to play at like the end of the last day. And then I was like, I must find my own copy. And ended up finding a friend that was selling their copy. So then I went and picked it up and bought it like right away, because after Godfest, I think I had it for that Malcon, and that was the next time I played it was at Malcon with my own copy. So just really, really enjoy everything about this game and its sequel. And I haven't played the 2-player version that you have, but I bet I would love it too. Yeah. And that is Awkward Guests.
Yeah, it uses dice in the second one. It's kind of neat.
Right.
Yeah. You would like it. Good choice. All right, my number 8 is another one that you and I have played.
All right, on to number 8.
Yeah, it was, it's your game, actually. And we played it with Kayla, and this is Mansions of Madness 2nd edition. Now, this one is interesting because it's a dungeon crawl, which wouldn't typically make my list, but this one is so neat because there's so many puzzles in this game. So you have this map and you kind of hear like an introduction story, and then you kind of all take off different ways or possibly together. You're going to go into different rooms and different things are going to happen. You're going to have skill checks. You're going to have puzzles that are, you need an app for this one, and they will be on a screen. And we got to put it on your TV screen. So we got to see these like really quite large, which was neat. And whoever is in that room needs to solve that puzzle. They can get help from friends, I believe. We all helped each other. But it's neat because you can take damage and get different weapons and things that you're be able to use to help fight off different monsters. And you can make good choices and you can make some bad choices. We initially made a really bad choice in our first game. I think we've only played it once, actually. But they told us in the introduction that there was some noise. Did they say noise?
Noise coming from the kitchen.
Yeah, but it was like eerie. Like, wasn't it like a killing noise, or what did we hear?
Not
I don't
sure
know.
what it was.
But anyway, we never checked that out.
It went the opposite way.
We all just like flailed different ways, and Kayla was continually injured, and you had a nice 2x4 that kind of got you
Yes.
around places, and I was super fast, so I could zip around to different things and like open up different puzzles and complete them. But in the end, we didn't make it. Yeah, we didn't, but we still had a lot of fun, and it's quite funny. It's a storytelling game too, so it was quite interesting. And I had heard this was like the ultimate, if you like Arkham Horror, or like any kind of games like that. This is the ultimate story game of it, and I agree. This was really fun. This would be what I would go to in that kind of genre. I wouldn't want to play this solo. I'd want to do it with people because it's interesting talking out your decisions and figuring out what you're going to do, and whether you win or lose, it doesn't really matter. You still have fun with this one, but it was really cool, and I look forward to playing this one again. And that's my number 8, Mansions of Madness, second edition.
Such a good pick. And we had such good times. Too bad that, because Kayla went insane, then she got injured, and then she went insane again and died. So we didn't win. We were close though.
Yeah.
But had we gone the right way to begin with, we probably would have, like, I don't know. Because it's interesting. Like, the different scenario, you don't necessarily know, unless you've done the scenario before, you don't really know what you're trying to accomplish. You got to explore and figure that out as you go. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah,
I don't even know what we were supposed to accomplish, but
we're trying to stop the cultist from summoning whatever, the bad guy. But, and then we've came across it, but we had to collect certain things to stop their whatever, their chant, and because they were chanting, that's what I think we're hearing. And
I see.
But yeah, it was neat. It was so fun. Great pick. All righty. My number 8 is Word Slam. You get like these big, heavy games from Carla, and here I'm getting like, oh, Word Slam's really good. But Word Slam is so good. You gotta have the little filler party type game, and this does it so well. Every time I've played this game, it goes over really well. One thing that's neat about it is it's 2 teams. So you can have any number of players, or if you have like a type of event where people are coming and going, they can join a team, they can leave a team or whatever. And then you can have one person who says, no, I'm not playing. And they're just sitting there, and then all of a sudden they're participating anyways. So it's so cool. Now, each team's going to have a clue giver, and that clue giver, so those 2 clue givers are going to look at they're going to decide the level of complexity they're going. It's like, okay, should we go the black card, make it really hard, or whatever, but they'll pick one, and then they look at the word, and it could be vacuum. Let's say, because we played once and it was vacuum. And it'd be like, then you have all of these cards, and you need to put together cards on these 2 tracks that's going to hint at vacuum. Vacuum is really, really hard to guess, by the way, when you're using different words. Because, like, it's like, what did Lee had put? Is like, woman or men work. Like, and he was trying to find something that would like suck dust, but I don't think suck was there. Like, because you're limited to those type of words. Now, first time I played this, it was with you. Me and you, we played it. And I think there was one, we did guys versus girls, and they slaughtered us. And one was like, vehicle shoot, and they guessed tank like instantly. But it's such a neat game. I really, really enjoy this one. It's a hoot every time we play. And that is my number 8, Word Slam.
Yeah, this is a good one too. All right, my number 7 is a rendition of Pandemic. And this is my favorite up to the latest one, which was the Animal Rescue. But before that, it was this one. And this one is Pandemic Iberia. Now, this one is also, I feel, the most beautiful version of Pandemic. It has beautiful colors in it. The cards, everything is like, the colors they just all go together well. And I love the patterns on the backs of the cards. They're like mosaics, which is really neat. But this one, the difference in this one is you are playing as setting up hospitals all over Iberia and trying to cure, obviously, and set up different immunization clinics kind of thing. And so you can build railroads in this one. And once you've built railroads to sections, you can zoom all along that railroad. So normally like a movement is one, city to the next city. But if you have built railroads, you can go from one railroad all along the track to the next one. So that one is really important. There's also little, I forget what these water tokens are for. It's to clean the water because the water gets contaminated. So that can help cure quicker as well. You can move from ports like all along the outside, which is kind of neat. There's what else is different in this one? There's like obviously different events and things that go on, but mostly I found the railroads is a really cool thing to this because you can't fly. There's no airplanes because this is way back in the, I'm not even sure, 1700s or what it was back in. But
before planes.
There's no before planes. So that's why you need those railroads. They are important. You still have to be at a center in order to cure or whatever it is exactly you're trying to do. But it's the same kind of system. You do your actions, your 4 actions, whatever. You replenish, like some more cubes come out, which are bad. And then you draw your cards and you carry on to the next player. And you're just trying to cure or make the immunizations of the 4 different diseases that are out there. There's also different levels of being able to play this. You can make it quite a bit harder where each of them act differently instead of like they're all kind of the same. I have never played at that type of level before, but it sounds complicated. But it's nice that there is like a whole nother level of play. This one you can easily play solo, but I always enjoy these together because I like talking out decisions and making cool decisions. But it's just, another one of those lovely pandemic renditions. There's so many. This was my favorite up to date, but now, like I said, Animal Rescue has taken over, but this one is awesome, and that's my number 7, Pandemic Iberia.
I've played a lot of Pandemic games, and I love them, but I have never played this one yet.
Yeah,
but I hear good things.
Yeah.
So, nice. Alrighty, my number 7 is Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. This one is, I would say this one works well as an entry-level game. Harry Potter is one that is an IP that everybody recognizes, and it has a big following. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, you probably will enjoy this one. This is also a great introduction to a deck building game, and it's cooperative, so it's not mean, but it's like deck building battle, right? Like you're trying to defeat the bad guys. And it's really neat because you start at year 1. Like it follows the story of Harry Potter. So you start at year 1, you're in school, you got the 4 main characters. I know in this picture here I have Luna, but that's part of an expansion. But you have the characters. There's the different spells you can do. You can buy more skills, and buy more cards that'll give you better spells, or polyjuice potions, or different things that will do different things. Or you can get companions where you have these people that are going to help you to defeat the bad guys. But every round, something nasty happens, and you flip over the dark art card, and then you have to deal with that. And it could be like, well, everybody takes this much hit or whatever, and then you can get stunned. And if you get stunned, that's not good. And you have to add one of those little skull metal token onto the location. And if it fills up, then you lose that location. It's like you're forced to retreat. And if you're ever forced to retreat all the way, then it's like it gets really nasty. Now, year 1 is fairly easy. Year 2 as well. And then, but it progresses and it goes to, I think, year 7, so, and then it adds new thing as you go. So it has a really nice progression. It's like, let's start easy. Let's start adding a little bit of things. And by the end, once you have everything opened, and we always tend to play like start of year 1 and start kind of building up. You can just leave them open at some point if you want, but it gets to the point where it is tough. Like first year, you only have one bad guy you got to defeat at a time. By the end, there's like multiple bad guys, and then on top of the nasty stuff that happens every round, and then some of like the bad guys, like they block different things, like we can't heal each other or different things. It's like it gets tricky, but it's all art from the movie. I really like it. I know they have remade this one Toy Story themed, and I think that would be really cool. So I don't know how many theme has been done in this version of the game, but it's a neat game. Great entry level, and still to this point, it's one of when I think, oh yeah, that was good. And if I have like, oh, brand new players, you know what? This is a good one to introduce. So that is my number 7, Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle.
Nice. All right, my number 6 is a Stefan Feld game. Now, this one is a race game, which typically he doesn't do, but it's a Euro race game. So again, that race theme that just gets my heart racing, but this one's called Oracle of Delphi. So what you're doing in this one, it looks like on the board, you would think it's a typical Euro game with a map.
Mm-hmm.
But you are racing to complete these missions that you have on your board. And you need to complete, I can't remember how many to win the game. I think you have a total of either 9 or 12. See if I can see at the top there. Maybe it's only 6. Mm-hmm. It could be you need to complete all of them, but I felt like you had to pick and choose. So you have 3 dice, everybody. You roll those dice and you're going to take actions with your dice. And that can be like movement on the map, claiming like an area, flipping over a tile, moving up your little god tracks on the right side, using gods as assistants to help you do things. You can gather cards. There's all kinds of things you can do in this game. I haven't played it in quite a while, but I know when I was trying to find this game, because I don't think it's in print anymore, so it's one of those that you could only find on the used market. I'm sure Stefan Feld will remake this into a city game at some point, but at this point it's not out there other than the used market. But it's a neat one. It's so different than a lot of his games, other than the dice feature where you use those as your actions and choose what you're going to do with them, which he does in a lot of his games. Castle Burgundy, Cusco, and you have Bora Bora, which is the precursor to that one. And so he does that a lot, but I don't know of any other race games that he has. Now that I say that, is Druids of Adora a race game? Do you have to...
You're moving around a lot.
But do you have to complete something and then you win?
Well, you're trying to complete
you end the game
links.
And then you add up your points, so it's a little bit different. But anyway, this one is really neat and unique. And I'm not saying go find it to buy, but if you're at a convention, a lot of convention libraries will have it. You should try it out because it's really unique and different. And that's my number 6, Oracle of Delphi.
Very nice. All righty, my number 6 is Tyrants of the Underdark. Okay, so we're getting into some bigger, heavier games here. I played this one a long time ago, and I was so impressed. It's a deck building game. So you are playing deck building. Now, every time I played at first, somebody set up the game. I just sat down and played. I didn't realize it's a deck building game, Dominion style, where every time you play, you have different cards that comes into play. So you can play this and it'll be different again and again. But it's also an area control game. So you have these shields, and there's different versions. This one has like the little plastic shields, but there's one where there's like cardboard or wooden shields that you put on the map. And you have these shields and you take control of these different locations. And but it's the deck building aspect as well. So it kind of feels like deck building, maybe kind of dungeon crawl area control game. I've played this quite a few times. I have since bought a copy for myself, and I really, really enjoy this game.
I'm up here.
Oh, is that your dog?
Yeah. He's like debating whether to jump up on the chair beside me. It's like, I don't know if there's any food up there.
But yeah, so Tyrants, I forget what the title is here. Tyrants of the Underdark.
Yeah,
I've never played this one. Neat game.
Huh, I've heard lots about it. Never heard of it.
I like it. I like it a lot. I didn't even realize it was Dungeons and Dragon themed, but that makes sense.
All right. My number 5 is Mystic Vale. This one I had pretty early on in my gaming career. I must have learned this at the cafe. I don't know how else I would have stumbled onto it, but it's kind of unique because this is a deck constructing game, but you never ever have more or less cards than you start with. So I believe it's 20 cards you start with and you end with 20 cards, but you're upgrading those cards. So a lot of cards in your deck, everybody has the same deck, are blank. Some will just have like a middle spot, some will have a top, and some will have a bottom. And it's a push your luck game too, other than a deck builder, is you're going to flip cards until you have so many different, I forget what they're called now, just these little symbols.
Decay. So the red ones are called decay.
Right. Okay. So you'll flip until you have 2 or 3 of those, and then you have to decide if you're going to flip one more. Because if you flip another decay, you bust. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3. Do you remember? If you bust on 4?
I think it's if you go over... you bust on 4.
Bust on 4. So if you have 3 decay, you might want to stay. And then you're going to look at all the symbols on your cards. And some they're called mana. And those are kind of your currency. And that's what you'll use to buy more upgrades. You'll also have possibly symbols that will let you buy these point cards. I forget what they're called. They're called something different, but there's 2 levels of them. Those cards will be later on because your starting cards don't have any of those symbols, I believe. But if you have enough to buy a card, or I think you can buy a max of 2 at the beginning. So, and they're all different levels of cards. So obviously the cheaper ones are level 1 and so on. You're going to buy a card, and these are the clear translucent cards that you will stick in your card because you have a card protector with just your actual card in it.
Your sleeve,
in your sleeve on top of the card. And then those will all go in your discard pile, and then the other person's turn goes. And what's neat is when it's someone else's turn, you can start flipping your cards until you get to the point of whether I'm going to choose another card. And you just wait until it comes back around to you. Do the same thing. Now, if you bust, your cards go in your discard, but you get to flip your little mana tile, and that kind of gives you a mana. So it gives you $1 more for next time you're buying things. So you get like some sort of bonus if that is flipped. If you haven't spent that mana, then it does nothing for you. But it's quite a neat game because sometimes, like, if you push your luck too much, you're just going to bust all the time. But other times, you might even be able to play out your whole set of cards because some of the upgrades will negate some of the, what did you call it again? The red stuff?
Decay.
The decay. So you have these green trees that will negate the decay. So if you build a bunch of upgrades with these trees on them, then you can flip more cards because even if you have decay, it's going to just negate it. There's other things that will give you things that for other symbols on your cards, or they're going to give you, like, I'll be able to buy a free card, or just all different kinds of things. And there's so many expansions to this game. They put out an essential edition, which had, I think, 3 or 4 expansions in it, which are quite neat, because then it introduced some negative points that you can get, like some juicy upgrades, but it'll also give you some negative points. And so they are quite interesting. And I think there was even some leaders or something where you kind of have like a player power. I haven't played it in a while, but it's one that's definitely on my to play list next in the next little while, because I love it. Everybody I play and teach it, they love it as well. It's not, I don't think this game has ever gone bad for anybody. It's just one of those unique, you know, deck builder, push your luck games that you just don't see anymore. I mean, he's built, the designer, it's, what's his name again?
John DeClaire.
Yeah, Sean DeClaire. He's made other games with this kind of mechanic in it, but not the same basic, simple, smooth play as this one. Like, they're all great games, but this one was like, it kind of set the tone for a lot of these constructing deck games. And I think it'll be definitely an evergreen in the hobby. And that's my number 5, Mystic Vale.
Yeah, this is a good one. You talking about it, it's like, I want to play it. I want to play it again.
It's going on the to-play shelf.
Sounds good. All righty. My number 5 is Aeon's End. This is another deck building. Like, I've got lots of deck buildings, and then you kind of add one that was like deck crafting. So it was the theme of the year, apparently. Now, Aeon's End is very unique in a lot of different ways. So first of all, this is a deck building game. And with deck building games, you pull so many cards, you play your cards, then you put them in the discard. And when you run out of deck cards in your draw pile, you take the discard pile, you shuffle, and you put it for your new draw pile. You don't do that in this one. When you stop and you run out of cards, you take your discard pile as is, and you flip it, and it becomes so you never change the order of things other than when you buy new cards. And you're going to want to be careful to buy cards at specific times, so that, because when you discard, you can organize how you're discarding it, the cards that you've played this round. So you're trying to put some of the gems together, because some of the things be like, hey, you need 2 diamonds to activate this. Well, if you don't have 2 diamonds together, they're never going to come out at the same time. So you're trying to manipulate your cards a little bit that way. The other thing that's very unique to this game is the play order. You have all the players, and you have the cards kind of showing the player. You have the monster. You have a couple of cards showing the monster term. You shuffle that, and you flip it over. Oh, okay, blue player, you go first. And then monster, he goes, monster again. You go twice in a row, then you playing. And in this game, you have the monster that's attacking the village, and you're trying to defeat the monster before the village gets destroyed. So that's the goal of the game. And we have these spells that we can utilize, and we have special abilities. And now the spells, you don't just get to be like, okay, I'm going to do this spell. You need to prep the spell. And once you prep the spell, then you can at a later turn cast the spell. So, and sometimes you'll have cards that'll allow you to cast somebody else's spell or help them prep their spell. So it was such a very interesting, such a neat game. Tough. It's one of those that you just don't win every time you play, which is good. I like that about a co-op game. I want my co-op to be tough and hard to win. And I think we've won this once, maybe twice. And it's another one where deck building, but it's Dominion style, where you'll have different cards that you can play at different times. So it changes up as you play. But it was really, really cool. I really like this. They've made multiple expansion, kind of creating new scenarios and that sort of stuff. Because every time you play, there's new scenarios, there's new cards. It can be a complete different game. but the mechanism is really cool. And that is my number 5, Aeon's End.
Yeah, that's another one I've never played.
We should play.
Yeah.
I'll need to come visit your new game room and we could play.
Yes, you do. All right. My number 4 is another big one, and this is Great Western Trail. This one I played early on, probably around 2017, 2018, I would say, at the cafe. Now, this one's funny because I remember somebody else playing it a night. We were playing a bunch of other games, and I looked over and they were learning it from the rule book. So the cafe opened at 6 and it closed at 11. And by 11 o'clock, they were halfway through the game. So they spent 5 hours learning it. Maybe they weren't even halfway. They were just, they're like, but now we know how to play. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, I can't handle that because I can't handle that waste of precious game time by learning that long of a game. I don't mind learning, simpler games, but I felt so bad for them. Anyway, I think then they taught us how to play, so it worked out for us. But
nice.
We ended up playing it, and I didn't really like it the first time. It was quite heavy for what I was playing at the time. I wasn't really playing heavy games, so I think it was too much for me, but I did play it again and again and again and again and again, and I've played this several times. It's such a neat deck, another deck builder. Well, this is definitely the year of the deck builders because there's a ton of them. But you're building a deck of cows, and it's basically your herd of cattle, and you're trying to have unique cattle in your herds by the time you get around to. It's not El Paso in this one because I've got the smaller game, so I forget what the end trail is here.
It's when you reach the train.
Yeah, but what's it called? What's the actual?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's El Paso, but anyway, it's a destination you get to because you're going to move around. It's a rondel. You're moving around and doing actions on different tiles and buildings. And then when you get to the end, you're going to splay out your cattle herd and hope you have all unique cattle in there and that they're high point value. And then that's going to gain you money and a place to put one of your chips. And hopefully it's a good place that will give you bonus points or so on. There's other things going on in this game. You can move your train and that will give you different things. You'll have to give up different workers once you move along the train to get like big points or big bonuses. You're going to build new buildings along the route. So right at the beginning, there only starts with maybe like 8 buildings, I would say, that you can move around to. But once you put more on the board, you can go to other ones. You can also go to other people's buildings, but you don't get to do a great action there. And some of those buildings, you're going to have to pay to pass them, which is kind of frustrating because money is super tight in this game. But if you can build up a kind of money engine, then you don't have a problem with paying that. You're going to gather all these different little, what are they called? Not danger tokens. I'm trying to think of the name of them. Like they're like little weather, water, or
don't remember.
Renovation tokens or something. But those are going to help you fulfill some end game goals. And the end game goals are kind of neat because if you don't fulfill them, you're going to get negative, but you decide how many you take. So, you're only to blame if you don't complete them, if you took them. You start with one that is more of a simpler one that there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to complete it. But the next ones you take are kind of on you. And it's just, there's a lot going on in this game, but it is really good. And that they've made, is it 3 new ones after that or just 2? I'm trying to think. There's the sheep one.
Are you counting El Paso in there too?
No, El Paso's like a mini version of it, which is an awesome game. Terrible production, but an awesome game. But I'm trying to think. I think there's just 2 extra. I can't remember because I didn't get any of the extra because other members of our game group have the other ones, so we just kind of. I just didn't feel the need to get them all, but this one is great. This is the OG, and it's a long, heavy game, but it's really good. And that's my number 4, Great Western Trail.
Nice, yeah, good pick. I remember playing this the first time. I went over to my brother's and we decided we would learn how to play like a big civilization game.
Oh yeah.
In the morning, and then we played this one in the afternoon, and Bree came over, and I think she was the one who taught us, which was nice. It was a heavy learning game day. Roll Through the Ages, a new story of civilization in the morning, and then this one. It was like, whoa. Yeah, no, I think it took us all morning to get 2 rounds in, and we had to pack it up. So, and this one, luckily, Bree was there to show us, but yeah, neat. All right, my number 4 is Imhotep, Builder of Egypt. This one is such a cool game. And one thing that's really cool about it is the component. They have some of the largest cubes I've ever seen in a game. Now, recently, Minecraft Biome Builders and then like their different Minecraft game has those huge, satisfying cubes. Those might be bigger than these ones, but these ones are big, and you just don't see that. So each player have their own colored cube, and they have gray, white, black, and beige. So it's very monotone there, but they're rocks. Like, so you can go to your quarry and then dig up more bricks. You can have to a maximum of 5 on your thing, and then you're going to be putting them onto boats. And you control where you're putting them. Are you putting them in the front? Are you putting them in the middle, in the back? It matters sometimes. And there's a certain amount on there that the boat can carry. And then there's a certain amount that the boat must have before it can be shipped. And then when you be like, okay, well, we've reached a minimum, you can ship on your turn. You can decide to ship a boat. And there's the different tiles of the different locations you can go. You have the market. You have where you're building the big, I don't know if it's called obelisk or something, where you just stack them up. You have the pyramid where you're creating a pyramid. So you create the base, then you do the second layer, and then you do the third layer. And every time you add to that, you get points. And then you have this wall here where you're trying to create clusters of your own color, or, break up the clusters of another player's color because they're getting too many points. This one definitely has a bit of a mean streak to it. Like, you could be like, oh, I see you've reached a minimum. Obviously, you're trying to go to the pyramid because I could see what you got there and how many points. So I'm going to ship you early to the market. Oh, there's no cards you wanted there. That's too bad. So it can be a little bit mean, but it is so neat and so satisfying. And then recently we've played Imhotep Duel, which is so cool as well. And instead of having like the different location, you have like a grid, then you can kind of send the boats on the bottom or on the side. So cool. But this game is really, really neat. It is so interesting. And you can change it up because you can play like where the tile on the A side, or you could flip it to play on the B side. But component is great. This is what I'm looking at it now. I betcha I could print 3D boats to put this like with this one. So I might be doing that sometime very soon. But that is my number 4, Imhotep.
Yes, this is a neat one. And we played your copy, I believe, and then I got the dual version. Do you have the dual version as well?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Okay. All right. Well, I know my next one is not a crossover because this is one of your most hated games, and I think you were taught wrong, that you played it wrong. But it is a great game. This is A Feast for Odin. This one is another heavy one.
I saw that on your list. I'm like,
it's a longer game. The mechanism in this is worker placement, but also polyomino, like a Tetris-y kind of game that you're doing. You have this player board that you're trying to cover up all these spots so that you can get more income, but you also want to keep some open and surround different bonuses. And how you do that is you're playing as Vikings and you're going to different worker placement spots. You might be whaling, you might be just collecting food, you might be going to, what's it called when you go and steal? It's a Viking.
Pillaging?
Pillaging, yeah. pillaging? Sounds like a
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
We are asking the French girls, so let me Google that.
So you're doing all different kinds of things to get food and like different resources and things, because every time you get something, you get like a little tile, and the tile will be a different color. If it's food, it's going to help you feed your Vikings at the end of the round. They sit at this big long table and you have to feed them by placing your food to fill in those spots. And if you ever put something next to each other that is the same, then it has to go upright. So if you have something that is like, say, I don't know, 5 centimeters long, or say half an inch long, and you put another fish next to it that's exact same, then it has to go upright and you're only going to get like the little centimeter of it. So you're trying to put different food next to each other so that you can feed that table. And every round you have to feed more and more because there's Vikings sitting there and they come off and you get to use them. So then that table gets longer to feed. The other things is you can put food on your board and all the different things you pillage and stuff, trying to cover up these negative spots. Because if you have not covered them up by the end of the game, you will have negative points. But the more you cover up, and you cover them up kind of in a square, the top corner of the right-hand top of the square is going to give you a type of income. And that's basically coins, which can be used to buy resources, but can also be used to fill your board as well. So it's quite neat because there's all different things that can fill your board. You can even use resources to place on your board, but you'll typically want to use them to buy things. You can buy more buildings, which sounds insane to Mel because she's like, why would you do that when you can't even fill your own board? Well, the first time I played, I didn't buy any extra buildings because I'm like, had the same thought. But the second time I played, I'm like, I'm going to try it. And I bought buildings. And then when you fill those buildings and your own board, you start to get more and more bonuses, which help you fill more and more and more. And then you start to see, oh, how this works, how this engine builds, and you get more bonuses and you fill more spots, and then you get more buildings, and you can even go to other like islands, and you bring an island to your board and you try to cover those things up, and it just gets to be crazy, but I just love it. This is a huge table hog, huge. I don't even know if I have a big table down here now, and I don't even know. We could maybe get 3 people playing this game, but I don't know if we could get 4 people playing this game on this table. So I don't know where you would do that unless you had like everything tightly together, but you have these quite large player boards, and then the actual like worker placement board is quite large. And then you have all the extra different buildings and islands that you can acquire. Then you have your pillaging board, so it is quite a table hog, but it is so worth it. I had a friend, Kayla, she learned this game on BGA, which just sounds like madness to me, because anytime you have to flip screens and place tiles, I can't work in 2D when I'm playing a tile game. It has to be 3D. I have to be able to see it and place it and feel those Tetris shapes go together. I don't like doing that on a screen. So much better on the table, but this is one of the best of his, and that's A Feast for Odin.
It's something. It's something. You know what? It's just, there's so much going on with it that you can't, like, it's like, there's like 100 different spot that you can go worker placement style. You have all of these tiles that you can get, but then you could also upgrade them to flip them to their other side. Then you have the resource you collect, and then you have the boat that you can get, and then you can get more boats, and then you can get different boats, and then you have this whole other type of place that you could go to. It's like when you're getting all these negative points on your own place. It's so much. I'll give it a try, another try someday,
with me.
But maybe. But the whole time I played this one, I was just thinking to myself, I could be playing something else right now. Like, I could have been playing something I'm enjoying. This was such a chore. I
think you would like it. I think there was an auction waving over your head.
There was that as well. The auction was starting. I'm like, whatever. And then they're like, we ended up like, we unanimously said, let's just skip this last turn and let's just be done. And I'm grateful for that. But
they actually just made a second version 100%. Of this game.
Oh yeah, because why not make more Feast of...
It's called The Danes, and I was looking at it, and it looks almost identical to this one. So I'm not even sure what he changed in it, but it has a different cover on the box.
Oh boy, I'm in the minority here. People love this game, and I get that. And maybe I'll play it again, and I'll be like, darn it. We'll see. Yeah, but. In the meantime,
one day
I would rather play Mystic Vale.
One day.
So, my number 3 is... Oh, speaking of the devil, it's Mystic Vale, our first crossover. Oh, this game is so good. It is so good. I remember when I first got it, I played it again and again. I got the Essential Edition, which just adds a bunch of expansions, which I've never played. I probably should have just kept my base copy, but I've got the Essential Edition. But this game is just so satisfying, and it's so neat that like a deck crafting, like it's not one of those like, hey, you draw 5 cards. Like you can draw as much as you want at potentially your own cost, right? So and it's neat because you have your deck and you reveal it, then you decide if you add it to the pile or not, and if you add it, you must reveal the next one, and that's where you're kind of pushing your luck, be like, oh, if the next card doesn't have a decay, I'd be okay. But now I'm getting all these extra purchasing mana, which makes it I can get that card I really want. But if it does have a decay, it all goes away. Do you push? It's like, oh, I'm not getting what I want. I have to push. Like, it's like, so there's some really interesting choices but, in adding the card, and then when you buy the card, great, I'm adding this. And it's like, man, I was really hoping to add it to the other one. I don't want to really buy it now. Now I could buy it now, but it's going into an empty card, so it's not building up as much as I was hoping for. And be like, oh, I needed one that had a top thing, and this is a bottom thing. That doesn't help me right now. Like, so there's a lot of different things that can happen. But this game is super, super cool, beautiful. I absolutely love it, and I'm craving it again. So my number 3 is Mystic Vale.
Yes, this was one of the ones I thought would maybe be a crossover. So we have potential for 2 more. Yeah, I think 1 for sure, possibly 2 more, but we'll see. All right, my number 2 is Yokohama. This one is another interesting game because it's worker placement, but it's very different. And how the game board is set up is going to be different as well. So it's modular because you have tiles of different buildings that you're going to go to, but it'll be different setup every time. You just randomly place it. It's a configuration that depending on player count, but there's only 2 buildings, I think, that have to be in a certain spot, 2 or 3, and then the rest will all be different. Now, what you're doing is you have these assistants and you have this president, and you move the president around depending where your assistants are. So you're going to place these assistants in a consecutive order, like along the buildings, and then your president can move to one of those spots, and they will take the action depending on the power that you have there. So if you had 3 assistants there and your president, that would be a 4 power, and it'll show on each tile like a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 power. And you'll get to take either resources or money, or you'll get to take a technology card, or you will get to take a recipe fulfillment card, like an order card, or you can get some really big end game points kind of near the end. And it's just really cool because you have to strategically place all these assistants knowing that, okay, this time I got a big juicy turn, but I still have to place them in a way that I have a decent turn next turn. And I really need to get fish to fulfill this one card. So I need to build up my fish there. Another thing is if you ever have a power of 4 or more, you get to build a building there. So you can either put a house or a trading house. I can't remember if I know it's called a trading house. The other one might be called something different, but then that gives you permanent power there. And every time you come to that building, you already have some power there. It's a really cool game that is very addicting because it's such a different layout every time. So it's not like you can have a master plan until you see the board and then try to figure out what you want to do. You can't ever go to the same spot where a president is, another president, or you can't drop off an assistant there unless you pay money to that person. Money is quite tight in this game, so some of those buildings, like the upgrade one where it's going to upgrade your buildings, or the bank, those are going to be quite sought after to build buildings on because then you'll have a higher power there. It's a really unique game. There's a dual version of this game which is just as good, and it plays a little bit different. It plays with cards as your workers, but same kind of idea. You're trying to, fulfill these cards, use technology, and just get the most points, whereas money's tight again, but they've done it very cleverly. They also have a roll and write game that I have never seen yet. It's always out of print whenever I go to try to order it, but I'm sure it's just as good as well. But this one is the big game, and I really do love it. And that's my number 2, Yokohama.
Yeah, I've never played this one.
What? That's a crime.
I know. Did I play the dual one with you?
I think maybe, because I feel like I'm gonna look it up.
I might have it to the dual one, but yeah, never the big game. I was looking to see, it's on my wish list, but it's not on my playlist.
Let me see here.
All righty. My number 2 is Terraforming Mars. This was the year of Terraforming Mars. And then I really enjoy Terraforming Mars. Take note, I did not enjoy my first play of Terraforming Mars, and I blame the teach. It's not an easy game to learn the first time, just because you have all of these cards that's going to be working with each other. So it's very engine building. And when you have no idea what card are even possible, and you're looking at a card, it's like, well, is that good? Is that not good? It's like, I don't know. And there's all these goals and missions that you're trying to, or like the awards and milestones that you're trying to accomplish, that the first time you play, you're going to completely forget about it. And if you're like me, you're going to completely forget about it the second and third time as well. So it's just one of those where it's like there was so much to grasp that's not known to you at first that it's kind of like, I have no idea. If you're going to play Terraforming Mars the first time, I think it's worthwhile to take a moment and just flip through the card and have a look at some of them. Have an idea of what's going to happen and what they look like and what bunch of, that's going to make it helpful to learn. Also, I had a friend who 3D printed an overlay of this game for me because it was just a base, like a cardboard piece for each players, and you put your cubes on them and they will get knocked around all the time, 100% guaranteed. And you're not going to remember, where was that? What's my production? And it's just, so an overlay is an absolute must. The later versions that they've created, they've changed it, because I have the Eras Expedition, I have the dice version, Terraforming Mars, a dice game. I love all of those as well. I think the dice might be my favorite out of all 3. But also, this is one that I played with Lee, and he liked it. So the fact that Lee enjoys this game, it's easier to get to the table, although we don't seem to get it to the table often enough. But super game, really cool. I quite enjoy it. And that is my number 2, Terraforming Mars.
Yeah, this one is a good one. I just recently played it and taught a friend who had this game, and she didn't know how to play it, so I taught it to her. And this one is another one that grows.
Was it a hit?
Yeah. Oh yeah, she liked it. I had bought the card version game because I preferred that, but I will like to try the dice game, because I'm sure I will like the dice game as well. Yeah.
Yes, we should play that soon.
Okay. My number 1 is Lorenzo Il Magnifico. Now, we recently played this, It was at my house. We had a game day. There was 3 of us. I think, was it Cherry that played it with us?
Yeah.
I believe. Oh, I just love this one. This used to be one of John's favorites, like especially for a heavier one. He loved this one and we played it quite often. This one is by kind of the same, some of the same designers as Grand Austria Hotel, which I love, and there's one similarity in there. They always have this church track that you need to move up, and if you do move up far enough, you get a bonus, and if you don't move up at all, you get a negative. But if you move up kind of in the middle, there's no negative or no positive. So that's one of the things you need to do by certain rounds. But you're playing as these different families and you're placing your workers, which are just these little cylinders on the board, and they have colors on the top. And you roll 4 dice, 3 dice. Is it 3? It's 3 dice because you have that neutral. And they're black, white, and orange. And so you have those tops, those colors on the top of your little family members. And so you're going to choose one and it'll be the value of that dice. And that's when you place it, that's what you're going to get as a power for it. And there's all these different like columns of buildings that you can place them in. And if you place one of your colored family members, you can't place another one in that building. And if you happen to be there or somebody else, you have to pay money to go in that building. So money is quite tight in this, and it is tricky because there's only 4 buildings and they fill up quite fast. And there's other places to go, but you really want to go into those buildings because you get new cards. And there's different cards that you can get. You can get production cards. You can get harvesting cards, I think they're called. You can get kind of end game cards and then kind of like an ongoing power type of card. You also have these leaders that you're trying to complete. And if you accomplish what's on the card, you get to play them and you get a really sweet, juicy bonus from that. There's all different kinds of resources, wood, stone, you have assistance and money. There's another resource. I can't think of what it is right now, but so you have to manage all those. Everything feels tight until you get your engine going, and your engine is with the production buildings that you have, because when you run that, you're going to get a bunch of things if you have a high enough power to run them. There's always a spot you can go if there's nothing you can do, and it'll just kind of give you something. You can go to spots and just get money or just get more assistance. The assistants help you adjust your pips on the dice, because sometimes the round is rolled and they're all 2s or something, which isn't a great power, and everybody has to use that. And then you all have this little neutral family member, and he can go where other family members are, but he's a 0. So he can go, but you're going to probably have to use assistance to help him go there. It just kind of all works together really well. It's very well designed, and it's, you know, looking at the board, it just looks like a boring Euro, but it's really fun, and I love how they designed this one. But that's my number 1, Lorenzo Il Magnifico.
Yes, neat game. It was really interesting. It's funny, I look at the title, like I saw, I was like, oh, I've never played that one. And I looked at the pictures like, have I played that one? And then I went to look at it, I was like, oh, I've played that one recently.
Yeah. And I looked it up. You did not play, unless I just didn't record it, the Yokohama duel.
Oh, okay. So well, I'm not finding it, so then that makes sense. Oh, okay. What is it that I played where we have the path that was going around and around?
Oh, that was Tokaido Duel.
Tokaido. Okay, yes. That's okay. Yes. Yeah. That's the one I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. My number 1 game of all the games published in 2016 that I have played personally is Clank, a deck building adventure. So another deck building game. And Clank is this one that I think deserves to be talked about. It was such a cool game. And this is, love the theme, first of all. So you're going into this castle, but really we're just quickly going through the castle. We're trying to get to the dungeon, and we're going to go through the dungeon where it's being protected by a dragon. But this dragon has amazing treasures, and we're trying to collect treasures and bring them out so that we can be rich, I guess. But we have armor. We have to sneak around because we're trying not to wake the dragon because she's mean. And you'll have cards that be like, oh, okay, you can move by 2 or 3, but you're clanking. Your armor is clanking against itself and you're making noise. And because you're making noise, you're attracting the attention of the dragon. So every time you clank, you take one of your cubes and you add it to the little area there. And if the dragon ever attacks, you take all of those colored cubes, you add it to the bag where there's a bunch of black cubes, the dragon cubes, and then depending on how aggravated this dragon is, how many of the cubes you're going to pull out. And then if your color comes out, she found you, you've taken some hit, you're getting hurt, so you add that to your damage location. And in the meantime, you're continuing to go and try to find more treasures or relics or something, but it's amazing there. And then sometimes you'll get into this crystal cave, but crystal caves are really confusing to try to find your way out. So it's your turn ends there. Or sometimes you're going to come across monsters and you need to be able to defeat them to make through, or you're going to take some damage. And sometimes you got to have keys, or there's one ways, like you can go in there, but you're not coming back out this way. It's cool. It is very, very cool. One of the drawback with this game is you can play with somebody who will always get the quick, like one treasure as quick as they can and make their way out right away. Because once somebody is out with a treasure, it kind of creates the ticking mechanism. You need to make your way out, at least above ground, in order to score. Like if you make it above ground and you don't make it out of the castle, the villagers will come and get you and rescue you so you can still score points. But if you don't make it above ground, you're done. You're presumed dead. You don't get to score anything. You're just eliminated. Clank Catacomb fix that because you build the dungeon as you explore. So you need to explore and find the exit as well. So you can't just get in and run out. But the whole Clank, the mechanism, the theme, the look, everything about it, I really, really like. And that is my number one. Clank, the deck building game.
Nice. I did not see that coming.
Only one crossover. Clank, yeah, no.
That's crazy. Awesome. So that's our top 9 2016. Will 2017 be as tough? I'm not sure. Haven't looked.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. It's just getting better and better. These games are 10 years old. And we're still every game in this list was like, oh, yeah. Oh, that's so good. We should play that again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we did decide our next theme is going to be food games.
Yes.
So we are doing our top 9 food games next. And so that'll be our next topic.
Yes, that'll be great. But before we call it quits, Carla, where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram at Boardgame Specialist, all one word, and Facebook, I have a page called Red Deer Board Game Fanatics. What about you?
So first of all, be sure to join our Discord channel. We've been really active on there and it's been tons of fun on the Discord. But then you can also find me on Instagram at Mel's_boardgame_room. I'm also on YouTube, Facebook, and Bluesky at Mel's Board Game Room. And yes, the podcast, of course, but you're already here. So then that's good. So thank you so much for tuning in and we will see you next time.
Bye for now. Thanks for listening.